to this exciting division of a line segment question. What we're going to do here is find all points that divide this line segment from negative 3, 7 down to 2, negative 3. So we got this line segment here, and we want to divide it up into 5 equal segments. So we want to find I guess there would be 4 little points in between here that subdivided into 5 equal segments. Here's how we do it. We use kind of a stepwise approach. First thing you do is kind of get the big picture of it here. And you ask yourself, if I set up my vertical and horizontal distances between these 2 points, what are the distances? So I go, well, on this one I'm going from a height of 7, that's my height here is 7, straight down to a height of negative 3. So 7 and negative 3 gives me a grand total of 10. And then across the bottom, the horizontal change between the 2 points, well, I'm going from a negative 3x value, and I'm going across to an x value of 2. So this distance is 5. Now, I want to subdivide this line segment here into 5 equal sections. So I'm going to take these vertical and horizontal distances, and I'm going to divide them into 5 to see how much I have to drop every time. So what it tells me is I have to drop by 2 units each and every time. Well, all that I have to do now is say, okay, so if I'm starting at a height of 7, this next point has to have a height that's 2 units below that. So this guy here is going to have a y value of 7 minus 2 or 5. The next guy here, wherever it is going to have a y value of 5 minus 2 or 3. And then we're going to have 2 more points here. I'm going to just kind of eyeball them in. This guy is going to be 3 minus 2 is 1. This last guy is going to be 1 minus 2, which is negative 1. And then if you drop 2 more, you should be at negative 3, and that's where we are. That's the y value of that point. So that's all we had to do, was get our vertical distance, subdivide it by however many subdivisions we want, and that's the distance vertically we're dropping. We do the same thing now horizontally, except that the horizontal distance that we're going to subdivide is just 5. So that means we've got to be over 1 every time. So if we're starting at an x value of negative 3, you bump it over 1, means we're at negative 2. And then 1 more is at negative 1. And 1 more is 0. Another one is 1. And just to check, we should end up at 2. And we do. And even if the numbers were to get ugly and you got fractions, you could do exactly the same procedure. If you like decimals, doesn't really make any difference. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Suppose I took exactly the same question and I said, no, this time let's subdivide it into 4 equal segments. Okay, well, now the numbers aren't quite as friendly anymore, but the technique is the same. We're up here at this point now. This is our starting point, is at negative 3, 7. And just to keep the clutter away, I'm not going to draw all the grid stuff there. We know that our vertical distance was 10, but now we're dividing it by 4. All it means is, if you like decimals, let's write it as 2.5. So instead of dropping a whole number, you're dropping by 2.5. So the next point over is going to be at a y value of 4.5. So what I've done is I've gone 7 minus 2.5. The next point is going to be at 4.5 minus 2.5 is 2. And then the next point is 2 minus 2.5, so that's negative 0.5. And if you went negative 0.5 minus 2.5, you would be at negative 3, which is the y value we want to end up with. As for the x values, well, again, they're not nice whole numbers, but you just take that horizontal distance, divide by 4, and that gives us 1 1/4, 1.25. So that's what we're going to be moving to the right. So I'm going to go negative 3 plus 1.25. So let's give myself a bit more room here. That's going to be negative 1.75. And then we're going to go negative 1.75 and add 1.25 to that. So we're at negative 0.5. And then we're going to add to this guy 1.25. So that's going to bring us to 0.75. And if we add 1.25 to that, we end up at 2, which is where we should be ending up. So even if the numbers are not very nice, it doesn't really matter. The procedure is the same each time. So that's division of a line segment.